Welcome to our channel. This video is part of a series based on the CITB book called Health, Safety and Environment Test for Operatives and Specialists. We guarantee that watching these videos is all you need to do to prepare for your final test. In each video, we will briefly cover a section's key points and then ask questions directly from the CITB book. This video focuses on Section A03, First Aid and Emergency Procedures. To make it easy to move through the video series, you will find a link in the top right corner. The actual CSCS test usually takes about 45 minutes, and you need to answer at least 45 out of 50 questions correctly to pass. Before we dive in, please support us by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. We appreciate it. Let us learn together.
All first aiders should have a current, up-to-date First Aid at Work certificate. The place to go in the event of an emergency is called an assembly point. The location of the emergency assembly point should be identified in a site induction.
What should be done in the event of an emergency on site? Follow the site emergency procedure. Collect your personal items and leave the site. Leave the site by the nearest exit and return home. Phone the Health and Safety Executive, HSE, for advice.
Which two of the following will help you to find out about the site emergency procedures and emergency telephone numbers? Guidance from the Health and Safety Executive HSE website. Reading the site notice boards. Guidance from your local job centre. Attending the site induction. Looking in the telephone directory.
How should you be informed about what to do in an emergency? Give two answers. By attending the site induction. By looking in the Health and Safety file. By asking the Health and Safety Executive, HSE. By asking at the local hospital. By reading the site notice boards.
What two things should you do if there is an emergency situation on site? Go to the designated assembly point. Look for other people who may not know what to do. Finish what you are doing. Collect personal items from the site office. Leave the area via the nearest exit.
What information should be gathered after a near-miss incident occurs? The names of next of kin for the people involved. Where those involved lived at the time of the incident. The activities that were being carried out at the time. The cost of the project at the time of the incident. You witness a serious accident on site. What immediate action should you take? Give two answers. Call out to other workers so they can call for help. Check if it is safe to approach the injured person. Sit the injured person up and give them food and water. Record the date and time in the incident book. Lift the injured person and take them to the site office. What should not be in a first aid kit? Bandages, plasters, safety pins, tablets and medicines.
Does your employer have to provide a first aid kit? Yes, every site must have one. Only if more than 50 people work on site. Only if more than 25 people work on site. No, there is no legal duty to provide one.
If the first aid kit on site is empty, what should you do? Bring your own first aid supplies into work. Ignore the problem as it is always the same. Find out who is taking all the first aid supplies. Inform the person who looks after the first aid kit.
What is the one thing a first aider cannot do? Give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Stop any bleeding. Give you medicines without authorization. treat you if you are unconscious.
Evacuation routes should be lit at all times of the day, painted bright green, used as assembly points, clear and unobstructed. If you find an injured person and you are on your own, what should you do first? Assess the situation. Do not put yourself in danger. Inform your supervisor that someone has been injured. Move the injured person to a safe place, then find your supervisor. Ask the injured person what happened, and then find your supervisor. Someone working in a deep inspection chamber has collapsed. What should you do first? Climb into the inspection chamber and give first aid treatment. Get someone to lower you into the inspection chamber on a rope. Raise the alarm and stay by the inspection chamber, but do not enter. Ask someone to find your supervisor while you try to rescue the worker. Someone is knocked unconscious and you are not trained in first aid. What should you do first? Send for medical help. Slap their face to wake them up. Give them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Turn them over so that they are lying on their back. Someone has fallen from height and has no feeling in their legs. What should you do? Keep them still until medical help arrives. Roll them onto their side and bend their legs. Raise their legs to see if any feeling comes back. Keep their legs straight and roll them onto their back. Someone collapses with stomach pain and there is no first aider on site. What should you do first? Ask them to sit down. Get them to take some painkillers. Ask someone to call the emergency services. Help them to lie down in the recovery position. If you think that someone has broken their leg, what should you do? Place them on their back. Send for the first aider or get other medical help. Use your belt to strap their legs together. Place them on their side in the recovery position. If you cut your finger and it won't stop bleeding, what should you do? Wash it, then carry on working. Find a first aider or get medical help. Wrap something around it and carry on working. Tell your colleagues because you may need to rest.
If there is an emergency while you are on site, what should you do first? Leave the site and go home. Phone home and then leave the site. Follow the site emergency procedure. Phone the Health and Safety Executive, HSE. If someone is in contact with a live cable, what should you do first? Phone the electricity company. Dial 999 and ask for an ambulance. Isolate the power and call for help. Pull them away from the cable.
Congratulations! You are a step closer to success. Keep learning until you reach your goal. You can find a link in the top right corner to go to the next video.